lost all of them. And ultimately, I was kind of sat there going like, play something you know, a bit more comfortable. And instead, they pocket pick Summit, which I'll be honest makes me feel even less confident. And in the meantime, it looks like Fnatic has changed absolutely everything bar the fade. So it's going to be difficult to try and have a read on a team that now is playing nothing of the sort of what you just saw.
Exactly. You saw those weaknesses before. You think that you can come in and pressure them, but now things have changed. So even if EF were looking to fit the mold of a team like Liquid, well, now a new challenge presents itself. Fnatic defending the B site. Vice Utilities already slowed the push of Eternal Fire. A few making it through, but a few divided, and Alpha failing to pick up anything in that elbow. That's going to give the plant over to Eternal Fire. A little bit of spam damage is the best they can hope for.
Yeah, it seems like his goal was just to try and hold onto the ground at the back line, but instead he's given it up. Good opener for Eternal Fire, but they're going to have to try and claim pretty much everything from one angle here.
Yeah, everybody's dropped down. Spear has a lot more players coming his way than maybe he'd suspect, but he's got backup. And now thinning the herd bit by bit. Cloud finally striking from the one extra angle they have. The backstab, but well, the knife looks blunted and Crashies has to do it all. Bit of damage already done, but not enough. Eternal Fire in there with the pistol. They ran into the Sentinel utility on the B site, but it didn't seem like too much of a problem.
No, I like how pacey it was as well. Like the fact that this is what I've always enjoyed about this team, is being that little bit more explosive, being happy to dive in and take risks. And it seems like the move that they're making since Spear is joining is maybe putting Fabian into that role. Spear going over to playing the Sage, which we have seen from obviously Duelists in the past.
Come on!
But this guy is maybe the one guy who has still shown some form throughout this stage. The rest being a lot quieter. And well, the pistol round going their way. And I was going to say a chance to farm up kills, but Kayak got 2 with the Classic.
Yeah, I mean, they sent a lot of players there early on to try to get that fight going. Both teams did, but Fnatic coming out on top in that fight isn't something I would have put my money on. It's a bit of a shaky start, but not beyond recovery for Eternal Fire just yet. They still have 2 decent weapons. The sniper as well, deadly as ever in a round like this, but dangerous. Fnatic now look to re-push. The flash going through the reveal. Takes that snake in the grass and makes it, what could have been an easy pick to pressure. But Echo's back with a double, and Kayak, well, he's already found 2. Double or nothing for him here. And the weapon left behind,
That's not a bad gun. That's not a bad gun to have.
Oh yeah, their health.
Both of them are tagged.
I didn't realize how low they'd been hitting that fight.
Spike planted.
Fake teleport.
Fake TP. No one was within range to hear it though. So now Kayak walks into what is a high-low setup. 35 HP on him. He cannot take a lot of blows, and the first will take him down. Eternal Fire, 2-0. 2 weapons carried out of this. This definitely looked a bit shaky though.
Yeah, no, incredibly costly in the end for the side of Eternal Fire, but I think a little bit of early confidence. I'm liking already just seeing some of those moments out from Kayak. I think he was one of those players that, again, looked very good on the O, but if you go back to earlier in the year or even last year, he looked good on everything. I think just losing a little bit of that confidence that we know he has, and I think his Neon on this map had a moment or 2 that looked good, and then everything else I was kind of like, he's not quite back yet.
Where are you?
Oh, this is the round for Fnatic. Money on the board, early aggression towards B main. Necky's there to greet the Prowler. The question is, how eager is Kayak? He was pushing up on B, constantly spotting info. TP taken though as they realize the A site's being pressured. Eternal Fire made it through the choke point already. And as the Vice wall goes down, now they're going to join Fabian. Forces rallying. It's Echo to take down one. And the Sage wall blocks them in for a safe plant.
Yeah, patient. And in that post plant with a man advantage already, Fabian just holding a slightly more aggressive angle, but gives it up. There's going to be a lot still to do to get past Spear, at least waiting patiently, and already gives them a further advantage.
Oh, immediately fought back though. Boaster and Kayak have given them a chance. EF trading out in these moments. The weaker weapons not looking too weak at all. Spear takes himself a triple for 3 rounds on the board. Eternal Fire Getting the sight, getting the opening pick was one thing, but they held back that retake with ease.
Yeah, I really like the paciness of this. It feels very Eternal Fire-esque. Like, you've got a player taking the space, you've got that quick follow-up. I think it's something that, when I watch Foot, for example, they do exceptionally well. Like, sure, you can look at them as a team that kind of just runs it down. But if you have solid executions and then can just hold the angles in the post plan, that's exactly what you want. And so far, Fnatic have been caught out pretty much every single time.
Down to pistols. It's where some of the best work's being done by Fnatic in that early round. Kayak on mid with a classic. This time, got himself a bandit. Flash out. Hasn't caught Fabian. And, well, him, Spear, and Neki are cleaning this up.
Fair.
Only one left in the form of Cloud. And considering how costly the last anti-eco was, this is a breath of fresh air. All under control.
Yeah, an in-zone flawless. Exactly what you want to see from Eternal Fire. Like, obviously, we had the last round, where it was round 2, where they were able to do quite a lot, but it seemed like they were a lot more prepared. Sent even more players. They went, okay, if you want to do that again, we're more than ready to try and wait for this to happen. And 4-0, an operator onto their side. Plenty of credits to spare. This is a dream start for Eternal Fire.
Yeah. Spear as well, 7-1. Res online. Ultimate's coming into play for both sides, but that's a big safety net for Eternal Fire to have. Last round they had it as well. Absolutely not needed, and maybe not this time either. Fabian invading mid early on, and you can see how important this part of the map is. We've talked about it in terms of expectations, and I don't think we saw it that much in the first couple of games, but seeing those early mid fights here, it's clear that teams are putting a lot of stock into it. So far, other than in the pistol with the anti-eco, where Kayak had that classic, as you were saying, round 2, other than that, that mid fight has gone to Eternal Fire every time, and that's going to be something Fnatic have to change. For now, they're on the back foot.
It seems like the goal was to have their cake and eat it. Remember, that's what Althea's job was on the chamber. But you want to have the Vice, you want Althea on the Vice, and maybe this is why.
Yeah, we've seen this already. Cutting off Fabian, normally they're able to wait. And once the wall goes down, they join him. This time, Alpha puts a stop to it. He's had enough! 4 under his belt, an ace possible, and Echo is running away. Saving the weapon, denying him the ace. Who knows the priority, but with 30 seconds left on the clock, saving that operator might be easier said than done. You know Alpha is hungry for it, and they're giving it to him as well! An ace for Alpha here to put the first round on the board for Fnatic.
See, as I was saying, they're trying to have their cake and eat it as well. I don't know. I don't think you get that lucky with calls too often, but you can see the value. Like, this is the problem. You have someone as talented as Althea, you go, why don't we just stick him on chamber? Like, look at Hero. We literally saw him play this just moments ago. Like, if you were here about 40 minutes ago.
Their momentum is temporary. Ours is permanent.
Then we saw the Hero on the chamber, your Sentinel, and you get aggressive, you can do so much damage, but you lose the utility that he gets to play around. And what Kayak's now trying to do what Althea was doing, because it gives Althea opportunities to do stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks like Fnatic will be a little bit more passive in that mid fight. This time Kayak just holding over it towards that A site. The door closed. And Boaster, I think, will be the one to pick up this wrap through to the B site. And this was a big problem for Fnatic when it came to the defensive side. What we're seeing here wasn't really the case. They weren't plugging the gaps as efficiently. Teams were able to sneak past them. Well, this time they'll be spotted. Boaster, paranoia to slow them down, but he's not looking for the fight. Instead, Kayak wrapping up behind. He's popped the ult. He's found 2, 3, maybe a little more. He's going to come out of the ulti. Not the ideal weapon for it. And in fact, EF are winning every battle. That's going to send Kayak back to the other side of the map, and there's almost nothing to do here. Fnatic have been rolled in that early fight.
Yeah, it turns out if you put Althea on the other side of the map, you lose the round. That is painful, because they had them pretty much boxed in. You could see Cloud knew exactly where opponents were coming from, but if he's not connecting the shots, that's a far bigger issue. He's been one of Fnatic's best players so far. And my Althea, their credits are not bad, but I feel like this is a little bit audacious, attempting to try and pull off what is, in reality, a 1v5, because his teammate is saving the operator.
Yeah, Kayak had no notion of helping out after using his ultimate, popping out to try to cause that distraction. They put a snake bite down behind, and while he waited for it to fade, everyone was dead. Leaving him with no choice but to carry that weapon through to the next. Boaster said their momentum is temporary, but ours is permanent. Well, it's been put to an immediate halt. And as you said,
he was actually sat on the Eternal Fire side of the stage when he said that.
I see. Okay, well, we're going to have to pause the game. Compops is going to reprimand him for that. Unfortunately, that's not allowed.
Well, he doesn't speak Turkish, so it's fine. No one understood. They didn't understand him. He didn't understand them.
Everyone was just confused.
Yeah.
But for Eternal Fire to immediately shut them down like that.
VCT EMEA. I think we had Martin a little earlier, getting us 10th. So, you know.
Okay, so he's at least second.
Although in the interview, Martin was like, I actually think I've got 11. So challenging. Either way, it seems like I am being taken away, but only from the cast, because we're listening to Eternal Fire.
Pikledim sen, pikledim.
AP vurdum.
Gör abi.
Vurun adamı, vurun.
Ne vur?
AP hata ölmüş.
Smoke verdin, smoke verdin. Linke verdin, smoke. Bolu kırın.
Arpa aldım.
Bolun var.
Base Cave'e AP oldum. Cave'e AP oldum, arkaya bakın.
Link Svol'u kötü olabilir belki. Soner dikkat etsene. Blink. Lobo.
Beyler arka bende.
CT bakıyorsunuz değil mi beyler?
Bende, bende.
Soner sen de alt üste geliyor.
I think next one I just have to be here with my omen blind, and I need someone else here. And then I could just blind them all.
Yeah.
But there was just a little mistake. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay.
But
I think it was a good round if we are in the right spot.
Yep, security. It's this one. After the game? Okay. Well, they'll be back later. 5-1.
Take me alive.
It can still be 5-2. All they have to do is run to the other side of the map and defuse the spike in less time than it takes to get there. It is a pretty tough situation for Fnatic. We've seen that mid control attempted to be fought for. We've seen them attempt to play passive around it, use that Yoru ult to wrap up behind early and apply pressure from both sides. That didn't work. And now the A main aggression most certainly hasn't. Again, you hear it at the end there that a paranoia, perhaps misplaced, mistimed, but it's not a good sign to see them go down this quickly 6-1. And for Eternal Fire, as much as we joke, like they're, from what Fnatic said,
that's so nasty.
very rare that their momentum is temporary.
You know what? I came into last week saying the only player that can play Waylay is Zeus. Well, other people can pick it up. Then we saw LaRock play, and I was like, you know what, that was actually pretty good. And now from Fabi, maybe it's just Turkish players. Only Turkish players can play Waylay well. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Either way, very aggressive start already in with the Nightfall, and they are pushing off this.
Audaz has got this angle. As soon as the wall goes down, Cloud is stuck, and he'll be taken down. Nice TP, nice ulti from Audaz. Now he's joined up with the group, and they're putting pressure on from every side on Kayak. Again, it seems so difficult to take these fights, but Fnatic are doing well. In every battle back, they ended up +1, and now Necky's alone against 3. The numbers, too much for him to battle against, and well, the utility has made this an extremely awkward fight. A minute on the clock. And making it around that corner gives him a chance to reset. Swinging out, though, he sees the high-low. 6-2. Fnatic are back on the board.
Yeah, nice control there. I think the one fight I was a little worried about was towards the end with Boaster sort of holding that back angle, but he makes sure that he's very aware that these players can get aggressive, and then just having more solid crossfires towards the end of the rounds, just making sure they don't give any of these young superstars on Eternal Fire a chance. Of course, that is the momentum breaker, but is this now going to be the start of some momentum for Fnatic? Because we saw versus Liquid, they had an incredibly poor defensive half, 4-8. Right now, they're kind of on track for something similar.
Well, they'll certainly hope for that to look a little bit better by the time the bell tolls its last. Fnatic again send that Vice setup towards the B site. Eternal Fire knocking on the gates of A. Rounds have been good to them when they avoid that utility, avoid that stack up for now. Orb taken, Fabian one away from the convergence path. That could get you into a site, and the Viper's Pit would certainly help secure it. Although Fnatic have some ways of getting back in there. They're staying towards this 3-man setup on the A site. And I saw Eternal Fire walk back. You wonder, is that B hit coming in? But it looks like a split is on the cards, going into the numbers of Fnatic.
Fabian with a chance at revenge, but no, again. Boaster well prepared for that early fight. He's taken down Fabian twice, who was the star of the show in some of the earlier rounds. And Ordaz almost feels like he's trying to bait them in. But again, Boaster is on the angle. Of course, I was going to say there could be a Viper screen in the way, but never mind. A second win for the IGL.
left.
His positioning is what's getting the better of those attacking players. The only thing that worries me is the amount of ground that is currently there for Echo. Maybe trying to bait him. Is Crashy's going to be easy? He's just ready for this, but he moves forward. The step forward is enough for him to lose his life. Even still, they're walking into the Alpha domain. He's going to take away their weapons, has a teammate alongside him, and guess what? He does not need that teammate.
That looked like it was the same problems oh my goodness. There we go. He'll get the third as well. It looked like the same problems we'd seen before from Fnatic. They get a little bit too focused on those early fights. They leave a gap, and their opponents exploit it. Crashies filled it in just in time, but again, got caught moving.
Perfect.
But Boaster posted on 2 angles, finding his double, made it awkward, made them look for that Hail Mary play. That snake in the grass, the sneaky flank that did get them some value, but Alpha again showing his value in playing that anchor. The B site seemingly off limits anytime he's there, and Eternal Fire might be about to put that to the test. See a lot of numbers outside the B site, and once again, Alpha's set up here.
Kayak, he's made this play a few times, but I feel like he's been wrecked every time he's gone for it. It's almost a game of cat and mouse, and after firing a shot, is forced to fall back. Has left Boaster behind on the angle. Nightfall ready and set up. A good read from the Fnatic defenders of where they're looking to go. And well, even still, it's Boaster that goes down first on that lurk play. The hold out from Echo. And now the question is, do they continue this push? It seems like they do.
Yeah, oh no, there's full commitment now from this squad going in towards that B site. Viper's Pit. This is going to cover off the right side, give them a little safe spot to plant, but the spams are always going to be a problem from here. Luckily, Spike goes down, and Ordaz fights his way forward, keeps going, and Kayak gets him off the sound. Now, Echo to be found, and he's now being spotted, revealed for just a moment, but slips back behind the wall outside of the pit. He's waiting for the walkthrough. Beautiful stuff from Echo. A masterful Red Bull clutch to lock in a lead at the half.
I always get a little bit nervous when I see Echo walking out of a Viper's Pit, but that was masterfully played. The only, like, I want to caveat it a little bit. It's a good round from Eternal Fire. It's one that I think they need as a bit of a combo breaker, but they did use the majority of their ults. Like, Nightfall kind of did nothing. They then had the convergence path, which went onto the right-hand side of the site, which also kind of did nothing. The Viper's Pit won them the round, so yes. I'm not mad at the Viper's Pit, but that was a lot of ults committed, ultimately just to get onto the B site.
Yeah, definitely a costly round, but it guarantees them leaving this half, they've got the lead.
Yeah, it's worth it.
And how much more can they get from here? Well, it's still a full buy from Fnatic. They'll still face that operator. Kayak last round conditioning them with that mid play. He went deep and fired a shot at a smoke just to let them know that he was taking that space and then bailed out. But that almost cost Boaster his life when he went peeking later on. I don't think anyone expected Echo to still be clearing those angles. And a very slow round from EF, but Tom, it looks like they might be heading back towards that B side. Maybe relying on Echo to play that late lurk.
Basically, if they kill Alpha, they win. But I'm not sure they will. It's a very close angle. He was waiting just for the player to trip the wall. That's the problem. If you keep doing the same thing, eventually your opponents will adapt, especially if your opponent is Alpha yet.
How much can Echo get done? That's the question. He's already delivered them one. Popped the orb up to make an uncomfortable spear. Strikes from above and Alpha's down, using the Sage Wall to create that extra elevation. Crashies falls to the same man. Spear, one away from a res, and this won't be the round to use it. It's a 3 versus 1. Cloud against the numbers, and Echo the man to put him in the ground with the plant going to Spear. They've got a res for the final round and a real chance at a 9-3 half.
Yeah, you kind of look at a team losing that sort of direct entry duelist, especially when you're playing solo duelist, and I sit there and go, oh, that's a bit worrying. Like, how are they going to move from this point onwards? But it seems like they play well around the Sage wall. I think Echo is doing a fantastic job on the lurk. Like, his timing for someone so exceptionally young is impressive. Like, he's got a good read on the game most of the time. But 8-3 up now. The economy also somewhat in the bin for Fnatic.
Think about the impact on the defensive side of Cloud every time we've seen this as well, like this map play out. And now on the Viper, I think he's got 1 kill so far.
Yeah,
like,
he's
this
been
has
getting domed. And I will say some of them are not because he's playing Viper. Some of them are because someone's doing some random BS that's catching him off guard.
Let's hope that's not the same here. His chance at redemption. Double or nothing, and it's nothing today. Fabian's just contacted in and taken Cloud out of the round. For Fnatic, could be a very disappointing half. Kayak has a choice here. Try to make a play. 2 players right in front of him. No, no, no. It's time to bail. Nothing from the ultimate except the info. It is keeping numbers towards this A site, but most importantly, Alpha is there. That might be the one hope for Fnatic in this moment.
Well, the TP is going to clear some space for Echo. Much as Fabian hopes to do, of course, some weaker weaponry there to try and support. Nice work from Althea again. He is the demon in the darkness, holding that back line. And, well, that pistol's not quite close enough. Another opportunity for an ace from Alpha, yeah, but the timing couldn't be worse. The push through is going to get him killed, and Crashies now loses his life as well. Even still, all down to Ordaz.
Worryingly doable for him. The plan stuck all the way. It's a brave one, and he's called their bluff. Now, Kayak and Boaster look to group up the high-low in play. Ordaz wants to take it early, and the swing! Aiming for the fences and clearing with ease. 9-3 for Eternal Fire. That is a stellar first half.
Oh, that is a brutal one to lose, and I'll be honest, there's been a few of them so far. A man that was hoping to build momentum is a man we will hear from in just a moment after these highlights. Let's hear from Boaster before the match.
Boaster, I want to start with the last game.
Yeah,
first half, 15-8.
If
but
Althea has the most kills in the server and you're losing 9-3, that's a pretty
get a round for every 5 kills he puts up. That's not a good statistic, but it is a statistic that we're forced to work with here. For Fnatic, a pistol round, wow, I don't think I need to tell most of you that it'll be pretty important.
I'd say any round at this point, but yeah, it's been rough. This is just a bait play. Waiting in the corner is Fabian. Slow even put in to maybe even try and cement it a little bit more. Kayak's gone round behind. That's a problem, but they don't check it again. They don't check it the second time. And well, there's the backstab. It will get one. He needs more. He needs so much more. And Kayak has at least made this round possible.
Yeah, that second was a necessity. Cloud alongside him, 22 HP on Kayak. It is time to cast away the memory of the previous half. It's Cloud in with 1 and Kayak on his 3rd that gets Fnatic on the board for 4. Still far behind, but a chance to start this half out in greener pastures.
Yeah, I was very worried with the start. Like, Fabian probably could have wiped out the whole team in the first few seconds of that round. Not the cleanest shots we've ever seen from him, although that is always tough because he hits some of the cleanest, but nice round from Kayak. He manages to use all of the chaos, get him behind, come out with a 3K. And yeah, I think Alpha from Fire might know in that moment that that was an opportunity to basically close out this map.
Well, for Eternal Fire, time to take it easy for a round. Classics come out to play. No investments from that side, and they're going to poke at mid a little bit, see what Fnatic's plan is, and well, they're going to find out it's a much more direct approach. Not too many weaknesses on Fnatic either. They're playing with a pistol. Marshall as well, Alpha, the one sent out to find a few. He's going to be blindsided in just a moment, but he only gives them a ghost over. It's certainly not the end of the world. This is where it could start to get costly. Eternal Fire, the last team I want to see underestimated when it comes to these low buys, and you can already see that respect starting to give them a little bit of space, backing off, and for good reason. Kayak's now being tagged down to 19. That rifle in danger. Boaster, great spray transfer, but it's still, well, I was going to say they're not out of danger just yet. Cloud's taking himself up to 4. It's a big round for him. And for Fnatic, 5 on the board with the majority of the weapons carried forward.
It's good enough. It's just when you watch how close some of these fights get, like this one in particular, I think Echo must have whiffed a little bit more than normal for him to not close out Boaster.
Cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep.
Oh, you know, Boaster seems to be in pretty good spirits. And building into this attack half, definitely an opportunity for them to be able to turn this one around. It has been tough to hold in onto that defense at times. But let's listen in to how Fnatic are going to be playing their first bonus.
Probably back.
What about Cloud?
I'm spotting guard. Okay,
Let's go to a B play. Sage is on A right now.
They probably fade.
Can you recon into
Can
yard?
I break the wall? Can I?
Yeah, you can. You can pressure it.
Let's chill out for a little, boys.
Don't see art. I wanna
I
pick
didn't
the
see
art
anyone
line.
yard.
Don't forget the spike.
Bring the bomb back. Bring the bomb back. I'll do it. It's fine. Just wait, boys. Wait a bit.
We're in a really good
CR.
B
Rock
split
the wall.
position here, boys.
The wall.
I'm gonna go back to.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
No, you have to stay.
I'm gonna
You want a
deny.
4-1 or 3-2?
We're gonna go 4-1. Might as well.
Yeah, go slow, Alfie.
Yeah. Go.
I don't know.
Build the orb because I just smoked here.
Go 1, 2.
We're gonna send the clone and swing with the clone, okay, boys?
Yeah, wait.
Alright,
toxin screen
send it.
Ready, boys?
I'm holding blind for Dragon.
Dragon.
Dragon one.
I'm blind.
Gonna blind
Follow
out
for
to
next.
this.
Follow
Ready?
for next.
Bye, bye.
1, 2.
Blinding now.
Dragon. Gonna be more dragon, boys.
I'm holding the dragon.
Right now. I'm flashing
Send one dragon.
Blind
I'm
up your
flashing
side.
backside.
Backside.
One more dragon.
Backside, Jake.
I have
Yeah,
all on me right
probably.
now. Dragon. One more dragon, boys.
Two.
I have all on me. I have all on me.
30
I can't
seconds
see.
left.
Dragon.
Dragon.
Oh, swung out.
Chill.
2 dragon, that means Orpa.
Oh.
Backside.
Backside last.
I'm chilling. I'm gonna walk. They come. Wait. 1, 2. Minus 40.
player standing.
I got you.
That's what we like, baby.
And this is the Cloud that we were waiting to see. That first half had to be pointed out, uncharacteristically quiet.
Yeah.
And now he's starting to get loud. 9-6, a very important round for
30
Fnatic to
seconds
win. That's put the pressure onto Eternal Fire's economy. And that's really put them in a position where before they were miles ahead. Now that distance is closed in on them.
Well, you know what they were saying? They were saying one dragon, but the fact is he's dragging them through these rounds, because without him, that definitely would have been a round going the other way towards Eternal Fire.
Proud of yourself?
You're lucky that it wasn't Dragon D's or something like that.
I'll count myself lucky then. 3-round gap, low buy for Eternal Fire, and they're going to try a little bit of aggression on the wings. Fabian hiding inside the smoke, but as soon as it fades, they're stood there waiting. I got to applaud him for trying. And on the other side,
That's
Echo's been
the
stopped
Jack
by the wall.
Igo strat, right? You just
Yeah, but normally there'd be a bird flying out of that smoke that would make things a little bit easier.
and some
Not
singing.
quite the case for Fabian.
Well, damage not looking so likely. Echo trying to play as far forward around the Vice wall as possible, but I think he's probably going to realize quite quickly that there's not really any reason for them to go back in this direction. Crashy's getting ever closer to the Nightfall, and the ults are building up wonderfully for Fnatic into this second half. Still, though, I see a Sheriff, I see a Bandit, and I
30
sense
seconds
danger.
left.
No, Neki could definitely come out of here with something, but big swing by Crashies. Cloud's wrap around has put this one to bed. They know now roughly where Echo's coming from. He tripped the wall. Alpha went back to check, but Echo was a little quicker on his feet than they thought. That's a rifle. Chance to make it costly. Kayak won't let that happen. Even taking the upgrade to the rifle in the end. It's a clean round for Fnatic, all things considered. As you said, ult's starting to build up as well. They avoided all the dangers the Eternal Fire had set out for them. 2-round gap. And on what looked like a map where they were
Nice,
miles
boys. Come
behind
on,
with no
boys.
chance of catching up.
Woo!
It's really become a much more bite-sized problem now.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of parallels. That was an in-zone flawless. I'm pretty sure in the 4-round streak we saw at the beginning of the last half from Eternal Fire, they also ended it with an in-zone flawless. So, and well, we'll have to see if they have an Alpha level threat who can just ace the next round to get onto the board in this second half. But I can say the exact same thing I said in the last. Really good credit. So opportunities now for Fnatic. They built up a lot. If they want an operator in the next round, they can have it. Fabian, though, has invested into one in this round.
Fnatic are going to send it this way. No shortage of utility to make it round that corner. Kayak looks to spot that up, but he was hiding behind the wall, waiting for his moment to strike. Fabian in with one already. Could be under pressure, though. He knows it. Hearing Kayak come out of his ult. Just around the corner from that smoke. Now the op can't really fight towards the site with the door down, and Echo tries to fill in that gap. Tries to stop them pushing further, but pays for it with his life. Numbers looking good for the attack, but Kayak's gone a bridge too far. Now Eternal Fire with a chance to fight back in with a res as well online. They can go round to drop and bring Echo right back into the fight. You have that Viper to play with. That means the Viper's wall comes back online. Fnatic have to play ahead of the utility, but there's an orb as well. Crashy's finding one, but Echo, the man brought back from the dead, and he sent Fnatic into the afterlife. Double digits for Eternal Fire. What a round from Echo.
God, it seems like he went to his demise, came back as a Grim Reaper. He became death himself incarnated and just didn't miss a shot from that moment onwards. Because I was going to say, and I think I'd be right in saying, he was a little bit ahead of the curve on that retake. Yeah. But maybe the assumption was there. It was just like, we have the res. If I fight here, they can get me back if they retake that control. It's gambly. I'm maybe not going to give him that much credit that he actually thought of that.
I think Fabian's just saying, like, there's someone right below me. Like, I can't really do anything. I'm going to hold this smoke with an op. And he's like, oh, let me see if I can peek out and get him. And, well, he didn't get him. But the res being online, yeah, it did. It gave him that safety net to play with. And yeah, maybe they weren't thinking about that. But maybe they were. You never know.
Never know. Because he probably, by the time this game has ended, won't remember that round. That's the biggest problem with asking pros questions, is they don't remember. But either way, as said, Fnatic have plenty of credits to play with. A very aggressive position from Fabian, and with an operator as well.
Yeah, he's been here a while, and he can't TP back anymore. The man is happy to stand his ground. I don't know what the plan is if a couple players come around the corner, and in fact, no one even needs to. Alpha's patience gets him the pick, and a Viper's Pit immediately from Eternal Fire towards A main. Sensing some pressure that we can see isn't there. In fact, you can see that the Vice Wall's been put into play, and with players outside the B site, Fnatic have all but avoided that Viper's Pit off rip.
Oh, this is a bold play waiting behind the wall, and while sometimes fortune favors the bold, this was not one of them. Fortune did not like them there.
Got to feel a little silly now with your pit up on the other side of the map. Or maybe you feel like you pushed them towards that side, but I think we could see this was always the plan from Fnatic. It's an ultimate traded out in panic and fear, perhaps. And oh, he's even guessed there was a player behind him. Not bad in the game sense territory. Echo's come in with two, though. Maybe we shouldn't be throwing ourselves at him like lemmings. He's spamming bodies to try to get peeks out of them. Or maybe just to throw some disrespect their way. But I don't think this round is going to find its way into his hands. We're going to have some serious questions about Fnatic if the sprint for the Ninja defuse could even happen.
Yeah, I think the second you see Althea die, you go, okay, that's the silly, goofy time over. Now we want to hold on to our own guns and not give him back the Viper's Pit that he used in the last round. And well, Echo's still having a little gander, but I don't think he's going to find anything. He has to also kind of hold on to this gun because his teammate, I think it was Ordaz, was a little bit low on credit, so wants to make sure. And there you go. It's going to be the pause. We are getting a very, very similar half. The only difference is that one of them diffused. That's literally, other than that, it's been exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, a timeout now.
Fire have been a little bit lost. They've been swapping stuff around an awful lot. he has been able to fill pretty much any role that they need. And yeah, I think he will continue to do so, but that doesn't mean they're going to win games.
Oh, a 2-round gap as we get back into the game, but it's likely to narrow. Eternal Fire, a rifle on Echo, as you said. That weapon saved over. The credits were low, or lower than they wanted across the board, evidently. An eco called for here, couple of pistols. And it looks like Fabian saving up for that operator again. For all the good it's done them. And here one ring out, and Fnatic, from our perspective, we can see it's going to be a very slow round. It's not that surprising either. There's been a lot of those low-buy aggressive plays from Eternal Fire. But for now, a different strategy, just the stack up and hope they come your way.
Well, you can see the plan. Fnatic wanted to break the button, shut the door, pretend they've rotated away, and then re-hit the same site. And that is exactly what they're doing. Do they expect the second player? Okay. Well, I said that Kayak has been having some quieter performances. This is not one of them. 19 and 13. Fabian has been able to drop one player, though. Makes things a little bit more awkward. Neki at the back of the site almost looked like he had the timing on Alfia, but almost doesn't win anything. And now for Fabian, maybe would have hoped to try and deny the plant, but he is nowhere near close enough. And now the only man left alive.
It's got to be frustrating for Echo to rotate there and see Crashies on a full buy round lurking as a fade in that position. That's just one of those head scratchers. I'm not really sure how he's supposed to predict that. And Crashies gets his backstab in, 9 to 10 now for Fnatic. This has become a real possibility. And if we are to see it replicate the performance of last half, you know, we were talking about how slow Fnatic were to start round 7, and it was a 6-1 deficit. Well, here we are, a 6-1 deficit. This is where Fnatic woke up.
At the same time.
Yeah,
I genuinely think that they have, maybe we've just emailed them both the same script, if we could sort that one out. So obviously everybody's happy. But yeah, we'll see. For Eternal Fire, I'm sure they'd like to try and break back and win the next couple of rounds, because that would guarantee them an overtime at a minimum. But there hasn't been much in this second half to really write home about. It does seem like Fabian is going to, well, take your quasi-advice and play that little bit more passive. He's now just holding the angle on A.
I'll find you.
Fnatic going to poke and prod towards middle, but Eternal Fire not adapting as much of an aggressive stance there as they did a couple rounds ago. Fabian was already down on bottom mid by this point. Instead, we said, sitting on that A site means Eternal Fire look to fight the extremities of mid. They let them in, funnel them through, and then fight them in the choke points deeper where they won't expect it.
He's not missing.
Kayak clears Neki with ease. An immediate TP back to the rest of the squad, but now they look to fight into an advantageous position for EF. That wall might have turned them away, and if it didn't, I think the info from this ultimate will.
Well, through we go. Speed of sound. But they're still just waiting on the other side. Kayak's managed to win a fight alone, and now they swing together. Crashies with another. This has been one hell of a round for Kayak, and the time may be ticking, but it doesn't matter if he kills everyone in front of him. Echo now completely alone. Well, the warning shots have been fired, but it is an in-zone flawless. The streak, the combo has now been broken. I told them to give the correct scripts, and here we are.
It can be harder to see in the moment, but that was a really nice play from Fnatic. Kayak going through with the ult. The paranoia lands off of his call, off his info on that mini-map. So Audaz is taken down, and then when they look to swing in to deal with Kayak, who's causing those problems on the site, the rest of the force is coming through that same angle to help out. Very nicely done from Fnatic. A good crunch, and 10 to 10 is their reward. Now facing into a low buy from Eternal Fire, a game that honestly looked lost for a long time now. Well, it may now be their lead that they are about to claim for the first time in this map.
Eternal Fire have just got to be sat there going, why do we get the inform Kayak?
Well, it's not that, it's their momentum is temporary.
Ah, he said it well in advance. Like really, really far in advance.
Spike down.
Nice pick to start this. That's the only weapon that Eternal Fire have to work with, and it's put the spike on the floor. Even picking that back up is kind of difficult with the slowdown. Fabian stepped in, you understand why. But it wasn't the play this time. Crashies to shut him down. Now we're back to a 4v4.
Ooh, the timing not going to be the best unless he walks all the way around.
Which way does he look? He's heard them. Echo's got the info, and he's swinging in, and they've got their knife out. It's a collateral! Cloud and Kayak are gone!
One enemy remaining.
Echo's got another! Unbelievable work! And he's looking to close it by himself. He'll be denied that opportunity, but a 1 versus 3. The lead for Fnatic, it seemed to be theirs, but well, now Alpha has to fight against 3 players all on the site right in front of him. No time to go anywhere else in a wall to, well, run his magazine dry. That's going to win the round on its own. 8 seconds. There is no time to get this done. An 11-10 on the board with an Emoda Thrifty. EF take back their lead.
It's one of the sickest Emoda Thrifties I've ever seen. Like, to start it with a collat, that was pretty nice. Getting the second, or the third player, sorry, obviously got 2 for 1, while completely blinded, was disgusting as well. Just an incredible round from Echo. It is, it's just threading the needle of that space. Where we heard it in the halftime interview from Boaster that he's watched a lot of demos. Obviously, that doesn't include this map because Eternal Fire haven't played this map, so we can give him a little bit of an excuse. But he said he knows the play style. Knowing and doing something about it has been a trouble for so many different teams. Not so much in recent times. Eternal Fire have been struggling this stage, but that's the peak skill. That's the peak timing. And, well, Echo hit both in the same round.
Disgusting. This is a disgusting angle. They've used the wall to get him up top. The orb's blocking it off. But when it goes down, you'd think they'd be in trouble. Alpha's seen this trick before. Nicely done.
To be fair, I felt like the first thing everyone on this map did just went, where can we change wall?
Yeah.
So I think the second you see that wall, you go, well, if the only danger I have is that little cubby spot, so I'm going to hard scope onto that little cubby spot.
It's a great predictor. Alpha, you're playing a game of Minesweeper there, and he's saved the boys some serious trouble. Moving towards this A side as well is the right call for now. As time goes on, those
brace yourselves for a meteor strike.
3, 2, touchdown.
The KFC Double Down has landed.
Welcome back.
All meat, no buns.
About finger licking time.
The Double Down is back.
rotates are coming through. Neki and Spear sprinting to help out, but Audaz will have to brave this push alone. The TP taken behind him.
30 seconds
and
left.
he is dead to rights, you would imagine. But for now, at least, there's no swing. Kayak is biding his time. He's waiting, but now the reinforcements are here. Kayak does well, but Boaster certainly doesn't. TPing into open sight. EF being handed some kills, and they'll get back to even. 3 versus 3. 1 kill for Spear. Gets that res online, but he'll be dropped early by Crashies. And the ult from Alpha fired in when there were much more bodies against them. It's only Echo left to stand against them. Decent damage, but, well, there's 3 of them. And now they know exactly where he is. It's been a good game for Echo, but this would be surreal. He's been given a chance, an opportunity with the wraparound as well. He might isolate one. The barrel spotted, damage done again, but close as it may be. He won't be getting it across the line. 11-11. Fnatic have tied up again. Keep in mind, they have not been in the lead at all this map.
Yeah, they've always got very close. Great start from Alfia. He seemed well aware, but it got really messy in the middle. This especially. There was no way a teammate could ever trade, but luckily, when you have Alpha and Crashies holding on to the angle, it can make it incredibly difficult to get through. And to be honest, Alfia has been sort of a massive talking point.
But he's been the muse for Kayak. He's inspired him to pick it up now. Just 1 kill behind the 2 of them, as you said. Definitely trailblazing. Fnatic's come back into this. And now they need the lead to avoid an overtime. Eternal Fire immediately in with the Viper's Pit. towards the A side.
Like the
And
angle.
Audaz gets one over the smoke. That's a fantastic start. And Crashies tagged down to 46. Well, for a round where there's so many ultimates for EF as well, but also so many weaknesses in rifles, that's about as good a start as you could dream of.
Yeah, I felt like Eternal Fire were a lot more prepared for these sort of aggressive plays. While Fnatic, as we said, like both have talked about it, and yet to really see them be ready for these hyper-aggressive plays. They've been caught out versus the Pistols, and it's the more standardized rounds that have troubled them at least a little bit. An optimistic or pick up, but maybe more of just a denial. I think he just doesn't want anybody else to get it on the other side, but Fnatic very much segmented away from each other. Nobody really playing off anybody else, and I don't know, with 40 seconds left, if they are going to make something in this round, it needs to be fairly soon.
Yep, they've been feeling out the map and not liking what they're seeing towards that A site. They were seeing practically nothing. Maybe just avoiding the Sage utility with time already so low. Whatever the idea is, we're about to see the fruits of their labor, the push towards the B site. Still a paranoia to delay, to buy a little bit of time, and Audaz has already been good. He ran at them. He charged forward. You may know their play style, but as you said, doing something about it, well, that's a different story. They came in here with weaknesses across the board, and yeah, well, that would have been an ambitious ult indeed. 4 seconds on the clock. You need that to plant. You can't plant in middle. 12-11. Eternal Fire again deny Fnatic the lead, and this time they do it at the final hurdle.
Well, yeah, it's both time with Pistols as well. They won round 17, and then round 21 and 23 have both been just off pistol plays. Audaz, who's been having an okay game,
Let's go.
just pulled that out of absolutely nowhere. And I wonder if for this final round of regulation, if they're just going to run it down, because it feels like the better strategy for Eternal Fire on the defense. And we can say that because they've literally won more rounds by doing it.
Yeah, it has been sneaky little angles for those opening picks. Sure, sometimes players like Fabian get caught out. But others, there's a lot of success waiting around those corners now. A slow already in play towards this A site. Boaster grabbing himself one in the spawn. Neki went back to clear it. The audacity of committing that TP. After that initial pressure on A, now they move back towards this B site, but Boaster's exploring A. He's looking to cut off those rotates, get ahead of the problem, drag them towards this side of the map, and, well, he's been spotted by a man who only has a judge. The Bandit comes out, but he's missing him. Ships in the night as Boaster just keeps slipping away. The danger signs are down. They know roughly where this man is. And it looks like they'll get him in the end. One man taken down, but the rest are running into the A site.
It's an upgrade for Fabian, but this has OT written all over it. Cloud gonna plant, but he already had his pit available, so I imagine that goes straight in towards the spawn. Cuts off a way back in, and the other chokes are so much tighter to play through that is Fabian gonna risk it? He's got some util maybe to try and dive through, but instead it seems like he's waiting for Echo to make a move, and Kayak is ready.
Oh, I was going to say that OT is coming. Fabian's giving them an opportunity, but the time is of the essence. They need to be quick on their way through. That stun has not gone where it was supposed to, and we shall be going to overtime. Fnatic have not had the lead at all on Summit, but they haven't let the game run too far away, catching up just in time a couple of times, and they'll get a chance to take it in overtime.
Well, the only victory they do have on this map was in overtime versus KC. That was where KC tried to pocket pick it against them. Seemingly, Eternal Fire have tried to pocket pick it against them. And we've gone to OT again. Yeah, we didn't need that slow mode. We definitely didn't need it slow mode from 2 separate angles.
You know, it is a point we heard on the desk, though, from Uli and from Mini about we want to see Fnatic in Fnatic form. We want to see them winning those games cleanly, and the wins have been overtimes. They have been labored. A win's a win at the end of the day, but the form is not that convincing right now. Still, what a resurgence this has been. First half was Cloud having an awful day, Kayak being quiet. Now everything's starting to work for Fnatic. Can they do it here on the defense where the problems were? That mid control, looking for those early fights, didn't work out. Leaving the control to EF didn't work out either. It didn't seem like they had a solution in regulation. Now it's some time to think about it. It's still a quasi-aggressive position for Kayak, but once that TP fades, his position will fade as well.
Yeah, Whitley had a lot more success jumping into aggressive angles on the attack. Or at least it felt that way. TP being sent out, timing him for crashes. Maybe not the best, and while you can see already shut down by Fabian. A lot of control already taken in towards middle, and Alfia under pressure. They now know exactly where he is. And dealing with him might be tough.
They need to break that door before the op starts to make this costly. What was that from Kayak? He's dropped in to take one. But much more needed here. The op in the corner, isolated, no way out with a TP. He knows that he's got at least one player trapped on that spike, but how can he punish him? The rifle might need to be picked up, but Boaster's now putting the pressure on. Paranoia's landed. It's wide swing from Kayak, and that was their chance. Now it's dissipated to just Boaster, and he's against the numbers. 3 players to find. A defuse needed, and a sneaky position from Spear. That will catch him off. 13 for Eternal Fire. Once again, the lead is denied for FNC.
It's another fantastic attack side round from Fabian. Like, firstly, peeking him for that opener. Was very ready, but then also just his stun thrown into the back, which made it impossible. Got killed by one of the fastest quick scopes I've ever seen in Valorant, but hey, you know, had to go somewhere. I also just like it from Spirit. It's like, yeah, you could kill me if I move, so I will not move.
Yeah, well, what can you do? Ain't got a molly, ain't got a nade. My man's happy to just wait it out.
Bring them down.
13 to 12.
Double up.
1 round for Eternal Fire, and they're going to put their stock into the big old snipers on the extremities. It's Spear who would be in a bit of danger. He's got a wall to, you know, wall himself in, create a panic room, but Fnatic are going elsewhere. They're taking it towards this A site. If this is a contact play, they'll be walking into the op, and they've gone ahead of the smoke. Boaster should have known when that's blooming, and it's a costly pick to give away. Luckily, they'll trade it back and then some.
Wow, thank God for Kayak and Alfia getting them back into the site. It's quick, though. Echo tried to go a little bit earlier. Neki will trade, but, well, you can see his HP is going to have to wait a little bit longer. Spear can give him the heal. But Cloud locked in on the angle. Has a teammate alongside him as well, and Crashies, and an easy cleanup from Fnatic in that post plant. It looked incredibly dangerous after that first pick onto Boaster. But again, well, I almost said double duelist. It's not a double duelist, it's Kayak and Alfia, but sometimes it feels like a double duelist anyway.
Yeah, you know, they're on the server. It's a shaky early play, but like you said, Kayak and Alpha definitely pulled them back into this one. And then it's this big swing at the end. It's not only that Crashies is by Kayak's side, but it's the fact that Alpha's ready to swing as the 3rd man, and he has a flash. That arc row is popping just before he swung. Didn't get an assist because he...
I was going to say, I feel like the defensive side operator, other than that quick scope, hasn't had the most success in the world, so back to the rifles they go. And no surprise, Eternal Fire are going to look for that early middle control. Smoke will delay them a little bit, but I doubt it will do it for long. And in fact, just going to close the door as normal, not even challenge it.
We've already got the snake bite out towards the A site. Cloud is feigning that he's alone here, trying to get the push out of them afterwards so that Kayak can find value. Instead, Kayak goes pushing, but Neki's patience now rewarded. They dodged the Prowler too. Crashy's caught a couple of times around mid though. He's not going to be pushing back in. He was wary of it. He's got a bit of information to work with, but there's a big gap around that A connector, and right now, Eternal Fire are walking through it. This is going to be a big problem for the defense, perhaps. No, good timing by Boaster. He is here just in the nick of time, and he's drawing the right. He's trying to open space for Cloud, but the Paranoia was perfect on the other side. Audaz has got them in.
Already as well for Neki. He's just going to make sure that if there was anybody close enough to try and swing early, it's going to be very well documented. And I think, yeah, I was going to say that didn't look like the safest spot to stand where all the trails ended. For Alpha, yeah, He's already had an ace today, but this would have to be the best play of the day.
Yeah, not going to happen this time around. Eternal Fire, 14-13 this first map. Certainly taking its toll on the timer for Fnatic. Once again, denied the opportunity to be in the lead. It's crazy that they haven't even had a moment in the sunshine. Got to see a slightly lighter darkness, but they're back down in the pits again. This time, the pause being called by Eternal Fire as they look to take it across the line.
Well, yeah, I feel like I remember having this conversation the last time. Not the last time where you casted some ideas. Or maybe he just said, guys, chill.
You think, yeah?
Yeah.
It could be.
Or, you know, we need to talk more. That's a very good coach comm.
Toxins going up.
Yeah, focus on the vibes. Perhaps that's the play for EF. Let's hope something more substantial is being communicated. Cracking the code of the defense this time for EF means ignoring that early mid control. You're not looking for a fight. Instead, it will be, once again, ops on the extremities. The first shot fired by Spear gives the game away. He thought about walling himself out, but he's going to stick around a little longer. Now the wall goes up, and he's ready to fight on top of it, but the shot doesn't land. You could say he's in trouble with the backup coming his way. Maybe not. Favian taking down Alpha's giving them an opportunity, but Spear can't get out of here. That's the problem. He's going to take a moment before he can group up, and that's going to give a plant and time for Cloud to wrap around. Look at this flank that's underway. His timing is perfect, and Spear walling himself off is buying him precious seconds. Paranoia and a dash. He knows there's two right in front of him, and they're ripe for the picking. Beautiful work by Cloud. The snake in the grass and his venom strikes as Spear's wall finally falls with an op against two, and time not on his side. It looks like we're going a little bit further, trying to force those individual battles, and well, he's gotten one onto Boaster, winning as well, but the clock here, the biggest enemy, if it's not Cloud.
Yeah, very quiet start to this game, but as we're always saying, when it gets to overtime, the scoreboard becomes irrelevant, and it's the moments that change the game, and that was definitely a big moment for Cloud. Like, his timing there was just utterly perfect. I always get a little bit nervous when someone pulls their knife out, but he knew exactly where he needed to be. He knew exactly where his opponents was. Definitely knew where Spear was, because he trapped himself in a corner. I will say he almost got Boaster, which I was going to say in that moment. I was like, well, they know exactly where he is. And then Boaster's not looking anywhere near the wall. I was like, if he had died to that, I would have been tilted. But he didn't, so it's fine.
Of course, they thought maybe he could jump up with that wall. Not that he'd fallen down into a prison of his own creation. EF looking for mid control, and Fnatic, they haven't had the answer to this on the defense. It looked for a moment like they were about to jump headfirst into the meat grinder, but it looks like that pleasure is reserved for Favian. He's the man stepping forward, dropping a ping that hopefully he's pinging no man's land. No man should approach by himself. As Fnatic were looking to battle there moments ago, but now resetting into more of a default alpha with the responsibility of locking down A. And well, if they decide to go in that direction, they could be in trouble. We've seen how strong he is when his sight is tested.
Oh. 4 players, direction towards one side, Althea on the other. Seems like an even split. Genuinely, he's very good. And actually, the Prowler's unlucky. It goes through, but it just misses out on catching orders. That's going to keep the gamble rotation on the other side of the map and leave this B site as just one man.
With the wall not being tripped, Boaster already started to suspect, but he is miles away. Crash, he's hiding in that corner, is now being spotted, and they will throw everything at him to take him down. Paranoia from up top. Boaster's going to buy a little bit of time, but that stun is perfect. And Spear will claim Crashies with ease. Boaster can't get in. The slows made it impossible. But Kayak fighting back. Still a heartbeat here for Fnatic. The problem, as the time ticks away, is they don't know where these players from Eternal Fire have gotten to. Now tucked in the corner, Spear and Audaz swing out of the smoke, but they're a little ahead of the play. Fnatic find them with ease. Kayak's ultimate now looking, seeking out that final player.
He's jumping.
Has he not noticed? He has noticed! Favian's got both! He hid in the smoke! Jumping to hide his feet, and somehow He's been allowed the Red Bull clutch. The play to once again deny Fnatic the lead. And it seems like Destiny's chosen a side here today. He never should have gotten away. Look at this. That's ridiculous.
It didn't even work. I'm sorry, it didn't even work. Like, look, it was like, he's got to be there, right? That's one of the funniest ways I think anyone's ever Red Bull clutch.
I can't believe he got away with that.
I'm actually in tears. That's hilarious. John, I want them to win now, just for that alone. Thank you, Fabian. That's made my day. And yeah, you know, yeah, go back for more. Why not? 15-14. We're basically in the same place we've been every single round, except now 32 kills for Kayak. Record slowly closing in. Echo's done well, but getting out of here is going to be very difficult. Spears also caught one on top of the wall. This is the best chance so far for Eternal Fire.
Did Spear wall him up? And somehow he's got 3 kills here. He's going for the res in the open. Alpha's being gifted some stats on the scoreboard, but that might be the best he can make of this situation. 9 bullets on the weapon he recovered, but 1 will be enough for Fabian. 16-14, Eternal Fire. They have denied Fnatic the lead at every. Looking to see from this roster with Aang at the helm, with Cloud joining as well, having that extra voice, a very experienced IGL joining as a secondary caller, potentially, or at least a contributor to the system, and also a cracked individual. We want to see them grow into this stage. And that last map, well, maybe a little bit of growth. You could argue they're changing things on Summit. They're looking for that identity, but they haven't found it just yet. Now a reverse sweep needed, but it starts on Split. Their choice in this series. On the defensive side, aggression's the name of the game again around middle. Spear, though, on his debut, I believe, here on the Phoenix.
First ever Phoenix.
He's already found himself one.
He's probably got 17,000 games in ranked, but it's the first time we're going to be seeing it. He started all right. In fact, it seems like he got a shadow kill there because it looked like it was going to be his teammate's kill. Instead, Althea quickly in for the fight. Goes for a double, but only gets the 1. Fabian incredibly low.
Yeah, that's the thing. Fabian has a chance to take down Son with just a headshot as well, right? He's not out of the fight completely, but Audaz might be relied on. Time ticking away. And Fnatic now look to press forward. Kayak not ready for Fabian in the corner, and the low HP doesn't matter if they don't get a bullet off. It's down to Audaz in the open to put 1-0 on the board for Eternal Fire.
I really hope they didn't bring in Cloud just to put him in Viper jail. Like, because he's so good at so many different things, but like, I'm not sure Viper's necessarily at the top of the list, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, the last map was just a bit more of a blip than what we're going to see throughout him in this series. Because as said, like, he was a difference maker in their first couple of games. And if I've learned anything, I don't know if you saw it, there was a crazy doctor guy on the show, I think it was yesterday, who said that you need to get 4 wins and then you're guaranteed. Well, Fnatic can still do that, but not if they lose this series.
No, it's not off to a good start.
He was a professor. I've been told he wasn't a doctor. You know, I saw the coat. I made assumptions. That's my bad.
Tom, come on now. We're mixing accreditations. That could get you in trouble. For Fnatic, in trouble after losing the pistol. Now down to a very low buy. A couple of bandits going to be brought through to try to steal the round, but that's going to be easier said than done. Eternal Fire showing a very passive face early on. They've left themselves with 2 pistols as well, so the margin for error here is quite thick. You can afford to lose a few and not sport those bruises in the next. But they are walking into numbers. A chance for the pistols to thrive, but not like that. Well, that is a cleanup crew from Eternal Fire.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like Boaster had the wrong sort of paranoia. He needed the paranoia that someone could have already walked up close enough, not the ability that allows him to blind people.
Look at that. They've just decided Spear was like, I'm going to get the plant so I get my ult. And then they said, well, why? Give it to someone else, and you go waste that pistol. You throw it into the wind. If you go down, you'll get your orb, and if not...
I want you to die, Mr. Bond.
They'll take them with you. The thing is, though, he's going the wrong way. That orb definitely worth finding in a round like this. So for Spear, it will be a mission failed if he doesn't manage to locate any enemies. And oh yeah, they are actually trying to get him the kill. The stun and the runaway so Spear can take the fight. I love that from Fabian. I thought he was going to be pressured into taking the kill, but he won't go down. Made it out, and that results in an in-zone flawless for Eternal Fire. And a res, a run it back online for the next.
I felt like the paranoia from that angle looks so brutal because it just looks ridiculous. Like they're looking at him put it through a wall, but hoping that they were maybe a little bit deeper instead. They were not. It's okay. It's only a bonus round, but of course for the side of Eternal Fire, keeping it so clean means that they can now upgrade everything else. So they have themselves 5 rifles and a run it back. This is about as good as it gets.
How do they use them? It looks like a 4-1 split. Pressure through mid into heaven. And Spear sent alone through that choke point in B. Of course, if he pops his ult, it would be in danger of being pushed, but he knows he's tagged one player up and they are going to look to pound Sonnet, the blood in the water, and fast this Spear on the pounce in the back lines. He's taken a double before rematerializing in main. All the healthier for it. That's about as awful of a start as you could get from Fnatic. The Phoenix runs at you, ult in hand, flash in hand, blinds himself, and still gets a double.
Do you know what? It's that age-old saying.
Oh, yes.
If I can't see them, they can't see me.
Bring them down.
And then when neither of us can see each other, I'll shoot them both.
Yeah.
That
was the next bit. We're just, you know, only the first bit stuck.
I see. Okay. Well, evidently it holds true here. Good job they'd read the full quote. Spear definitely showing, I guess, a little bit of unfamiliarity with the Phoenix, showing those first-time jitters.
I've just been... Did you just get the stat in your ear?
No, I didn't.
Hello. Oh, I've just got special stat.
Okay, what's this special statistic?
I've now been told how many Phoenix games he's played in ranked.
How the hell has someone found that? Okay.
Jack, did you find that stat yourself?
Tracker, yeah. So hit me.
Okay, so this is a Jack Igo exclusive stat. 78 Phoenix games in ranked.
78.
The problem
that's
is
actually not that many.
I don't know how many ranked games if he's got like 15,000, then that's not.
I'd imagine he's got quite a few more than 78 games on ranked. So, yeah, it's honestly quite a low number. And
this
he's
is 79.
So it's a pretty decent start. And of course, if you tweet "Thanks for the stat" at Jack Igo, you'll be in the running to get a Riot Gun Buddy delivered to you. 3-0 for Eternal Fire.
He did something
solid
nice,
start.
and you ruined his day.
And now the pistols on Fnatic, the low buy for them with a Guardian.
We're never getting a Jack stat ever again. That was the one and only time.
Oh,
I like this stat, Jack.
We might
Thank
get
you.
it again. If 2,000 people can tweet at Jack. Bonus points for DMs. Okay, so Eternal Fire, looking for their 4th round. They're up against the low buy, and they've got Cloud to deal with. That smoke's going to fade soon, and my man is stuck on that balcony. No way out in either direction, at least as far as he knows. And the wall up, well, it gives them a chance if they go running through it. But now it's down, and the rifles are coming. The Seas is hit.
Oh, dear.
He can't get down. He's stuck up there, and well, Cloud was dead to rights right away. And Eternal Fire not even pouncing on that. They're using that pressure up in heaven to wrap back around through B.
Yeah.
But Fnatic didn't rotate as quick as they expected.
Well, it was so loud, the rotation, that it was the least subtle move ever.
Left.
All right.
Luckily, Fabian's just going to hit the shot to remove the guy from the B site, and it looks like the others are just committed to getting the orb. I don't hate it. Like, realistically, if you can get closer to your ults, that's not something too bad. But an opportunity... Well, the credits are already very good for Eternal Fire. If nobody dies here, they could pretty much rebuy for the next, like, 4 rounds.
Yeah, for Fnatic, those exits certainly worthwhile once they don't end up in the hands of Spear. And once more orbs don't end up in his hands, I should say. And one is going to be his no matter what. Boaster puts him to bed nice and early on. And now a chance for this to really start to add up in terms of credits. Beautiful work from Fnatic. It won't be a 1 round, but that's as good as it gets when you're facing an L no matter what. Damage done
Yeah,
in the Red
Red Bull
Bull
clutch.
clutch.
What
Let's
a
go.
crazy Red Bull clutch that was. from the
Unbelievable
spike.
work from...
Well, I said it could have been a flawless. I was wrong. Everybody ends up dying on Eternal Fire, so an incredibly costly round.
Definitely.
In the end, but, well, in the end, it might not matter if they're able to convert this next one. And of course, they come in with a full buy across the board. Both teams having the Nightfall, so an opportunity there. And Kayak having his ult means that he can be extra cheeky in this round.
Well, the big buy, the ultimate in the hands of Kayak, but the gun in his hands is what I'm worried about. It hasn't hit to start with. Fabian's already through, but he hasn't moved. Kayak stood in position. They were sure he would TP, but he wanted blood before he did. A fair trade for Kayak. Cloud might not be so lucky. He hasn't got a way out of there, and he's going to be shut down by Spear right away. Now Eternal Fire starting to pick up the pace as Audaz gets a double. Boaster puts him to bed, firing from above, but that's when the flank comes through. Echo threading the needle, leaves Kayak all alone. The op in the open when the smokes fade. All chances for Fnatic follow them, and 5-0 for Eternal Fire. A map under their belt already, and Fnatic hoped this would be their safe haven, but these are rockier waters.
Can we just see what Audaz? Yeah, he just walked through a smoke, and like Alpha didn't even have a chance to react. Like, we talk about how I think Eternal Fire have a lot of really cool executes and cool set plays that sometimes look like they're just running through smokes. That was literally just him running through a smoke. That was hyper aggro. Well, 5-0. Last time we saw the 4-0 for both teams.
Eternal Fire, they come out of this with Spear already on a lights out start. The Phoenix looking like he's got more than 78 games in ranked. And
Maybe
then
even 79.
the reality is he's one away from a run it back in a round where they shouldn't need to use it. This is terrifying for Fnatic. Coming out of the pause, they're in a low buy. They pop the ultimate for Kayak. He sees
Echo
nothing
behind the box.
outside A, but that doesn't mean that there's nothing outside A. Players spotted in mid, A clear. This is clearly a B hit, so Fnatic stack up their forces there. Prowler and indeed Spike are towards that position. It looks like they've made a good read, but now's when Echo walks up on A. Now's when he starts to potentially feel out that space, and it is wide open if he decides to take it.
He's actually being very passive. He's normally a guy that takes large amounts of risks, but I think it's just knowing what the buy is on the other side. This is a weaker purchase. If he pushes, dies, and gives a weapon over, that's a problem. But now they've seen the push-up. The TP into the back of the site is a little, or it's been stuck. He actually stuck it.
Yeah, he didn't see anyone.
And Boaster hasn't actually been able to find the ground yet. Now they know, or they should know, that this isn't clear, while Fabian just a little bit quicker on the trigger.
Slightly better weapon as well, you know? Gets that one-shot kill. So does Spear, but it had to beat to the head. Luckily with him, it seems that that's almost the only place the bullets go. Case in point, Cloud's down. Same old story. And the run it back's now online for the full buy that Fnatic have coming. They've given the kill. It only had to be one. Even a death delivered would arm Spear with exactly what he needs. Now Crashy's going to let the first buy. The second, not so lucky.
Come on.
That's all he's going to get. 6-0 start for Eternal Fire. And as we said, they've got some crucial pieces of utility, ultimates coming online in the next. It's not looking like it's going to get any easier for Fnatic.
No, and this is truly devastating. Like, obviously you play a 16-14 game and you talk about inexperienced teams and say that that could be enough to maybe mentally boom you. You feel a little bit exhausted, but they are getting obliterated. Like 6-0. I think one of the closer rounds we had was because everybody died to the pistols at the end. And that wasn't a close round because the spike was 100% going off.
There was one player left alive, but the round was already a conclusion well written by that point. Eternal Fire looking towards this A site. Now Kayak, he's got a TP to get out of here, and he might need it. For now, at least going to stand his ground. Dodges the paranoia, but now with the smokes up in play and the run it back online, he decided to flee. It's a good job as well. The shots are not landing, and Fnatic have lost control of A.
Oh, I like this from Fabian. He pushed with the ult initially, but I think realizing that, okay, having that post holds a lot more value. Spear being caught, though, is an impactful kill from Cloud. He hasn't been able to do too much so far, but they don't expect Audaz to still be in the corner. The trades back from Neki give them the advantage, and now Crash, he's from above. It's a spam battle that nobody's winning.
It looked like that was on as well. I guess the wall was in the way.
I was looking at it like,
Fabian's got full health.
Oh wait, no, they've both hit zero. Like
even a
even
lick of
Cloud took
damage.
no damage as well.
Yeah, unlucky, I guess. Well, Crashies will find one in the end and pick himself up an operator, but it really is a consolation prize. We are looking at a 7-0 lead for Eternal Fire, and yes, they put the run it back into that round. Fabian's sprinting it down. His finger guns won't be back for a while, but I don't think any of that matters. This lead is already intimidating, and like we said, there's no signs of it slowing. The credits are looking decently healthy. I mean, the Fnatic are at least trading a couple of blows. They're forcing reinvestments, but that'll only get you so far if you ain't getting rounds on the board.
Where are they?
No breaks on the Eternal Fire train, and Fnatic are letting this just slip further and further behind. Yes, they kept that operator in play, but it didn't really have any impact in the prior round. More aggressive position as well from Althea, who's been deadly silent. Even when they've had poor games, you don't normally see Althea go and miss. And while there's the operator, Spear is 1v1ing it in mid. Just like he had no help. He just took the fight on his own and won it with ease.
Paranoia was forced to stun out of Fabian, but nobody's silly enough to go swinging into that. Fnatic wanting to play tight. They're already a man down, and Eternal Fire will be keen to stick at least the majority of their players together in a clump and run those advantages down in any fights they get. Echo's the man left on the A site to try to contain that space. He sees no contact and now starts to move back. The B site's the new target, and the timing could not be worse. Fnatic have just decided to leave this side of the map completely. What was previously a weakness towards this A site, it is now the only strength the defenders have to work with, and, well, Eternal Fire walk into B and no one's home.
Oh, this feels like a save.
Spike planted.
Maybe not for Boaster. Might want to try and kill someone with the Judge, but you just have no map control. So that's the problem. It's like, you might want to go for a retake. Okay, how long are you going to spend taking mid? How long are you going to spend taking the spawn? Are you going to go around on the flank? How long are you going to spend clearing that? It's too much. And, well, they've been failing at the retakes when they were all there ready to go. So they have to respect Eternal Fire in this moment. But when you're already 7-0 down, it feels like well, maybe we've already got to the point of no return, but we're definitely getting there. A few rounds at a minimum needed. Like, we saw them have a decent attack side versus KC. In fact, that's probably the reason they picked this map to begin with, but I don't know what's changed for Eternal Fire. Well, maybe this Phoenix coming into play, but they are looking like a different beast, and even holding onto the guns, it's not gone fantastically well. Only 2 guns brought through, which it should be enough for a buy, maybe? If it is, it's not a great one.
Yeah. Oh, no. For Fnatic, this is an awful position to be in, it's fair to say. 8-0 down, attack side temporary as this momentum may be. It seems to be enough to carry them very close to the finish line before Fnatic even get off the starting block. For Eternal Fire, everything is working. You have to wonder, how are they doing this round after round, finding success? Well, let's jump in and have a listen.
Vuramadım, backside dedim.
Arda vur lan onu. Amına koyayım diye bak. 3.
Take
80 Viper oğlum.
And that's how not to do it, just in case you were wondering. 8-1. Fnatic have found their way back around on the board at long last.
So there's been a storyline going around that every time we listen into a team, they lose.
I said it. I told you.
Because I was, do you know what? I resisted saying something that I was very tempted to say. But I was like, someone will call me a jinx if I say it, but now I can. It would have been poetic justice if 1 week apart, Eternal Fire got 13-0'd and then 13-0'd someone else. Like, that would have been insane, especially if it was Fnatic. But storyline dead. Thanks, Jack.
Jack, he's cursing the teams with the listen-ins. He's cursing my ranked games with his Sky. I mean, is there anything that can remain unsoiled after he touches it? I don't know.
He can sing.
He can, but he rarely does.
So can the
Fabian,
operator.
starting it out onto Cloud, a jump peak that has not gone well. Found the info it was looking for, but a cost far too high to pay. Still double up in play for that Fnatic side. Kayak and Boaster standing by, and well, those ops better land something. Alpha's just running at them. He is looking for fights every time on his own, and he's won them all. They need the orb now. Audaz wants to pick that up. TP, take the spike, and they'll get a 2v3 out of it. But Alpha's already looking like he's hit another gear here.
Can't take the spike. Okay. Well, he's ground to a halt. Kayak through the smoke, but it's only going to be the one and done. Neki has his ultimate, but no. All right, get the slow-mo out. Get the slow-mo out. Come on.
Oh, it's a rough time to have a double up.
We know it's coming.
That's a rough position to have the second up in.
I'm gonna close my eyes.
Tough timing as well.
Count to 10.
Seriously, he was stepping the whole time he was running. He was just running up with his knife out. He was just running up, and you could hear him. Then run and shoot, and oh god, that's awful. Now, if this was a game where we're like 3-3, that sucks. But 9-1 off the back of a play like that, and they try to play confident. You respect them for it. Fnatic running at them in mid, but it's up in heaven on the A site that they sport all their scars. 3 versus 2, and Spear's gotta run it back if they even needed it. I'd be surprised. Kayak now finds himself alone, and Neki finds him up above. 10-1. It looked like Fnatic were looking at the bounce back, but their map pick, it's looking worse than ever.
He's just imagining the slow-mo.
Oh, he knows. Oh, he knows that one's getting tweeted.
It's a little bit rough, innit?
Starting to get a bit rough.
10-1.
We're well past 5 o'clock shadow. This is very, very difficult for Fnatic fans to bear witness to, but
Hey,
should be used to it by now.
Difficult for me. I like both these teams, but I was expecting a little bit more of a competition. Both teams had their struggles, but Eternal Fire seemed to be in worse form, and boy, was I wrong. Looking for 2. People talk about the new 10-2 curse, right? That's what you got to hope for. Cloud's done well. So is Kayak. An aggressive position for Fabian. No, this can't turn as well. It can't turn as well. They find the advantages and immediately lose the Kayak to save the day, and there is no day to be saved. It might not be a 13-0, but 11-1 at the half. Where have Fnatic gone, and where had this Eternal Fire come from?
A dark night has set here as Fnatic find themselves 11-1 down on their map pick. This series seemed to have slipped out of their control for Eternal Fire. They've got to be feeling good. Let's check in with Neki, who we spoke with before the match, and see how he was feeling.
Neki, and today
Tickets by scanning that QR code, and maybe we'll see you at the Stage 2 finals over in Spain. I personally can't wait to hit up the beach afterwards. Maybe we'll see you there.
Yeah, wow. On a positive note, things looking pretty good for Liquid right now. A victory here for Eternal Fire will send them into the playoff stage, skipping the play-in, but it will take Heretics down with them. And Spear, wow, it has been a map to remember for him. The youngster, a superstar in the making, and with less games than you'd think on Phoenix, he is having one hell of a map.
Yeah, he's certainly putting Fnatic through hell. He's just caught Cloud. Cloud, we're going to need a replay of that. I'm pretty sure Cloud was waiting down below for him, and Spear still managed to strike first. This guy is looking untouchable at the moment, and for Eternal Fire, it's a good thing. They might be about to close this one out in record time. Spear finally falls. Maybe that's the chance the Fnatic needed. All the kills go their way. Just moments later, it's Audaz alone. A smoke down to hopefully get it to half, but the spams are deadly. And Fnatic, they've doubled up on rounds. It's only up from here.
Yeah, and a lifeline to say the least. It is an absolute mountain to climb from this point onwards. And what? Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's, you know, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable kill to get.
I saw that in the mini-map. It's just like, what has occurred?
Well,
and
you know,
I wish I didn't know.
They say it's like it's difficult to catch a cloud, but I wouldn't advise you to try and catch a spear.
It's good life advice.
Yeah.
Very good life advice, Tom.
Yeah, that's definitely a saying. I think it was Gandhi?
I missed I missed that one in history class, but all right. 11-2. The comeback of dreams for Fnatic to pull them out of nightmares. This chaos taking over the game. But Eternal Fire have been put to rest for a moment, put to classics where their damage and impact should be limited. They're sneaking the majority of their forces onto the site, although not unseen anymore. Cloud spotted one on that rotate over. The problem here is the timing. Oddaz inside the smoke looked like he could have had the jump on Kayak, but I think he's going to be a little bit late to the party. Awkward for Alpha. More players here than they expected, but dealing with it for now at least. Till it's only Echo. They no longer need to pressure that A site when they know right where he is.
I was going to say, they do it a little bit, because I think he has the rifle. And, yeah, no, you know what? Love it. The odds of you winning this round, very small. The odds of you making it very costly, now, well, 100%. You've just got rid of the rifle. So there you go. One of the rifles gone. It's not the end of the world for Fnatic, but it is an inconvenience. And, yeah, they're going to be playing a game of hide-and-seek that isn't winnable, because it is outside of the map. 11-3. Still a ridiculous amount of rounds in a row to go, and this is where it gets tougher. Eternal Fire with a purchase, and also they're going to have themselves the run it back for Spear.
I got him,
which, if it wasn't bad enough trying to kill him once, now try and kill him where he has no fear, because if he dies, he goes back to where he was before.
Time to jump.
Well, the comeback from Fnatic. It would be one hell of a thing to witness. We've seen stranger things. Maybe we'll hear them as well. We jump in to listen in.
10 seconds. Yeah, heard.
I'm gonna throw another TP. I'm gonna throw another TP.
No, come back.
Okay, I'm just coming.
Just come back.
They're in B main still.
Hey, you just throw your shit now then, Austin. Oh, back for a second, Cloud. He's always ramped left side. This guy's Alfia. Right, ready?
Let me just run
We're
down.
gonna swing with the spit on the heaven. Ready?
Yeah, let's swing. 1, 2.
They didn't do us.
Blinding the other guy. I'm peeking him, he's in main. Oh no, he's falling off.
Running away. Taking space.
I'm charging him, okay?
Go together. Magnets, we can.
I'm gonna TP into heaven smoke.
You need to go fast, boys. They will fast.
Oh, there's a fight.
Where?
Right
One
there,
side, one side, one side.
Down A.
You have anything? You and me.
Guys continues.
It's a really nice shot. Connected
30
onto
seconds
Boaster
left.
just as he's about to TP up into heaven. They wanted to go together, but ended up a little bit fragmented. The pick by Echo has made this round extremely uncomfortable. Cloud trying to catch an angle up top while Crashy's pressures from below, but Eternal Fire have got time on their side. They've got players to defend every choke and to
10
swing off
seconds
each other. The round's already done, and Fnatic have realized that. As you said, Tom, the curse continues. We listen in to Fnatic, and we listen to them lose as 12-3 goes on the board for Eternal Fire. One more round to send Fnatic spiraling.
So we could do a test here and just listen to Eternal Fire comms for the next 9 rounds in a row. And just, you know, see how far the comeback happens.
We sang the praises of Mini at lock-in. The Fnatic fans will sing the praises of Jack.
Exactly,
Stage 2.
The
new era.
The only way they can be defeated is if we listen to everything they say. Of course, might be slightly against a few competitive rules, but, you know, rules are made to be broken. A 12-3. And while that run it back is still online. Not needed in the last round. Fnatic have got a purchase, but it's not the prettiest. Alfia completely blinded, and while Ordaz has already killed off one, the trade back at least will do some damage. The run it back has gone clearing all the way through, and timing for Kayak couldn't be better. He's having a good round. Another decent map from him. He was good in the last, but needs a whole lot more. He's not falling for the bait. Even still, though, it's only going to be the one. Kayak seemingly bringing them home another, but there's still a couple of players to deal with.
Yeah, especially Spear. He's been spotted now, making his way towards Heaven. He's pushed them down. Left Fnatic with no real control, but they've got the numbers. Time not quite on their side just yet, but it is slowly ticking up. The only thing they don't know about is Audaz. No paranoia to give away his position, still a smoke to play with. It's all about the contact now. For Audaz, clearing that left corner is going to get him killed. The angle covered by Cloud, and Kayak's 4th of the round will put a 4th on the board for Fnatic. 8 more rounds in a row needed. A gargantuan task, but one that Kayak certainly seems up to. He's been having a solid map.
Yeah.
We saw this from Fnatic before. One player doing well, and finally they all wake up. It's how they got back into the game on Summit, but they couldn't quite get it across the line, and you start to think maybe this one's also too far gone.
Yeah, you feel like, wow, 8 rounds in a row is an absurd amount, but also you just feel like somebody on the Eternal Fire side is going to pull off some BS that will close out the game. They were doing it all the way through the last map.
Time to jump.
Much faster paced round though out from Fnatic. It's still going to be a purchase for the opposing side, but just for the opposing side, but that judge from Fabian will have lost at least a decent amount of its value, although he's getting close enough that it is making me a bit nervous. Boaster is facing the wrong way, but I think he knows Cloud has his back. Especially now he does. But even still, the trades go back and forth.
Whoops. Stun's going to cost a little bit of time. The flash is going to cost a little bit of time. The utility's not been hitting, but they still have the advantage to play with. Eternal Fire take down Alpha and leave Crashies all alone. This could be it. A dominant win here on Split. A statement victory. And Crashies the man that stands in their way. A defuse already underway, and the reveal hasn't given the game away! Fabian! He's got it done, 13-4. Eternal Fire, they struggled on the first map, but here on Fnatic's home turf, they